Welcome to our next installment of the Lenten devotions on March 27th, 2020 from St. Matthias Episcopal Church in Toccoa, Georgia. Our reading today is Mark 10:32 to 52. And they were on the road going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus was walking ahead of them, and they were amazed, and those who followed were afraid. And taking the 12 again, he began to tell them what was going to happen to him, saying, "See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and to the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him over to the Gentiles. And they will mock him and spit on him and flog him and kill him, and after 3 days he will rise." And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came up to him and said to him, "Teacher, we want you to do this for us, whatever we ask of you." And he said to them, "What do you want me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your glory." Jesus said to them, "You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or to be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?" And they said to him, "We are able." And Jesus said to them, "The cup I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those who have been prepared." And when the 10 heard it, they began to be indignant at James and John. And Jesus called to them and said to them, "You know that those who are considered ruler of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." And they came to Jericho. And as he was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a great crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind beggar, the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside. And when he had heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." But many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." And they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take heart, get up, he is calling you." And throwing off his cloak, he sprang up and came to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And the blind man said to him, "Rabbi, let me recover my sight." And Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your faith has made you well." And immediately he recovered his sight and followed him on the way. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So there's a lot in this passage here today. So we have Jesus yet again, for the third time, telling his disciples plainly what's going to happen as they make their final journey into Jerusalem. The next chapter is actually Jesus' triumphal entry. So we're into the days immediately before the last week of Jesus' life as he's heading up to Jerusalem. I'm passing through Jericho and really plainly, they'll mock him, they'll spit on him, they'll flog him, they'll kill him, and after 3 days he'll rise. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, say, "We want you to do something for us. When we get to your kingdom, because we know it's close now, let us sit at your right hand and one at your left in your glory." And Jesus says, "You don't know what you're asking. Can you drink the cup that I'm going to drink? Can you be baptized with the baptism that I'm going to be baptized with?" And they said, "Yes, we can." And Jesus says, "Oh, you will." The Lord obviously gave him that. This is. Will they be ready to die? Will they be martyred for their faith? Will they be ready to give up everything for who Jesus is? And the answer is yes, they will, and we know that indeed they give everything to live for Jesus. John, tradition has, did not get martyred, but lived in exile basically the rest of his life, and his whole life still was in dedication to Jesus. But Jesus says, "But this isn't mine to grant." And you don't really know what you're talking about anyway, because because all this means is, can you be the greatest servant? I came to be a servant for many. I came to give my life as a ransom for many. And sitting at my right hand or my left in glory is not the same as the glory of you think in this world. In fact, it's probably nothing like you can imagine. But the ten, when they heard it, were still indignant, mostly probably indignant because they didn't think of it themselves, but indignant that indeed Jesus, that they had the nerve to sort of ask Jesus this question. And this is when Jesus says, you're concerning yourselves about things that are sort of irrelevant. There's a bigger mission at hand, and moreover, if you continue to live into the work that you're called to do, then it will be accomplished. This kingdom of God is not the same as the kingdom of this world. And if you want to be great, you have to be a servant. In fact, you need to be a slave, which really puts everything in context. And so then they come to Jericho, and we have Bartimaeus, which is the son of Timaeus, which basically is what Bartimaeus means, the son of Timaeus, son of Timaeus, Bartimaeus. It's literally like the old Saturday Night Live sketch with Chris Farley, who talks about El Nino, which he says is Spanish for the Nino. This is sort of that same type of thing, in some ways Bartimaeus doesn't even really have his own name. He's just Timaeus' son. And when he hears Jesus, he cries out, Son of David, and many rebuke him, and he just cries out all the more. And what he asks, when Jesus calls him, he leaves his cloak. And his cloak is that's where his money is. This is where people throw alms. And so throwing off your cloak means already you feel like Jesus is going to heal you. You're already risking your whole life, everything that you know, everything that you've had, in order to follow Jesus, to come after Jesus, to have your sight restored, and to leave that life behind. And let's face it, that life sometimes is comfortable. There's many people that are comfortable in that life of I haven't worked. What am I going to do? What am I going to do if I lose this job? What am I going to do if I lose this? How will I live? I've been begging for alms for all these years. I don't know how to dig. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And he doesn't care, right? He leaves everything behind to follow Jesus. Jesus says, what do you want me to do for you? Restore my sight. Restores his sight. And Jesus says, go on your way. And he doesn't go on his way, does he? He follows Jesus. That's the way. This is the way. The way is to follow you and to come after you and to be with you. And really, this is the same is true for us, right? How do we live for Jesus day after day after day? We leave to come and to follow him. Whatever it is that we desire, Jesus says, we come to Jesus with our requests, with our hopes, with our dreams, with our desires to live fully for him. And Jesus says, go on your way. And our response is, where am I going to go except to follow you, right? You are the way. You've given me everything. You are the way. I'm coming after you. So unlike the rich ruler yesterday who left disheartened because he had great wealth, Bartimaeus comes after, leaves everything behind, which wasn't necessarily great wealth, but it was everything that he knew, to come after a better life with Jesus. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. Pass this on to others, share it, that others might subscribe. Also, later today, we'll have Stations of the Cross video on, so that you can do Stations of the Cross in the chapel. Well, virtually in the chapel. We'll lead a Stations of the Cross video, and that will be on that you'll be able to do as well. So look forward to that.